Welcome back everyone. We get to finally talk about the best, cheapest Samsung phones that you can purchase in 2020. Now most of these you probably already know, like they're really popular and I talk about them a lot throughout my channel, but I figured I might as well compile them and talk about my favorite ones basically that you can buy used on Amazon. All these will be linked down below and they're all affiliate links so you can help out the channel at the same time. Now what I will say is that if you have all the money in the world, obviously go pick up, the newest Samsung phones out there, the Galaxy S20s and all those ones. But if you don't, these are still very good options. Now, I'm going to tell you the price points of all these too. Now, price points fluctuate like crazy. So right now, I'm going to say they're like $100, but they might go up to $150. They might go down to $90. Like it just depends. These things are changing prices so much. So I'll tell you the prices right now of what they are, as well as what they're selling for on eBay around. So the first phone I want to hit on is the Samsung Galaxy A50. Now this phone is a very killer phone. It brought a lot to the table for a budget phone. You have a pretty decent sized screen on the front, which is really nice. It does have a fingerprint sensor built into the screen, which is really cool. And this thing still is getting software updates. It's going to be getting One UI 2 very soon. And on Amazon, this thing is selling for about $280. It's a very killer phone in my opinion. It's still reasonably fast. Really, maybe the only issues are maybe, it doesn't have the most amount of performance. The screen isn't a 1440p display. But for the most part, it's a very good phone at the end of the day. I have a lot of respect for Samsung for making the whole entire A series as great as it is. Hopefully it does get One UI 3, but I guess time will tell. But that phone is the Galaxy A50. That one is selling for $280, and that's not even the cheapest phone on the list. The Samsung Galaxy S8 is actually cheaper than that, and that's actually one of the secondary phones I would recommend. This phone costs about $230 on Amazon right now. And let me tell you, as I've said before, this phone is a killer device. It brought a lot to the table at the time, and even now, even though it's not getting software updates anymore, it's still getting security updates as far as I know, but the phone still feels and runs pretty good for the most part. You have a beautiful OLED display on it, 1440p, fingerprint sensor on the back, tremendous build quality, memory, SD card slot. Like you have a lot going for this phone still too. Really the only thing that is kind of limiting it is the software like I stated, but for the most part I think it brought a lot to the table, and for a lot of people in 2020 I still think it's a pretty reasonable phone for them. So if you want to get a more in-depth review like I stated, that one will be linked down below, or maybe you can look up Galaxy S8 in 2020 and find my video that way. But that one is selling for about $230 on Amazon, and you can also look at the Galaxy S8 Pluses as well and see how well those are, and I've already dropped a video on that too, which will be linked down below. Now another phone that kind of came out the same year, back in 2017, was the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, and this phone is a tremendous phone as well. That one costs about $260 on Amazon, and even though this one isn't getting software updates either, for a majority of people out there, they will still be tremendously surprised by a phone like this and this caliber that came out in 2017. It's still extremely fast, has a great screen, very low bezels on it for the most part, a dual camera setup on it, which is really awesome, the S Pen, which is amazing, and that's something that you actually don't get on a ton of phones in the market, and that is a tremendously great phone in my opinion. Really, like I state all the time, for these older phones, they tend to have a lot of burn-in on them, but the really cool thing about Amazon is that a lot of them aren't really, in horrible condition. They're renewed or refurbished for the most part, and that's something that I would highly recommend, is going certified refurbished, and that's what Amazon usually sells them. Now, if that's not good enough for you, you can always get the successor of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, which will be the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, and a lot of these things are selling for $360, and these things are still tremendously awesome. Mine just got the One UI 2 update, and let me tell you, getting One UI 2 on a device literally changes so much about it. It adds so much value into your phone. The gestures, the system-wide dark mode, all those cool little things that Android 10 brought are brought into the Note 9. And honestly, even if this thing doesn't get One UI 3, which I'm 99% positive it's not going to be getting One UI 3, it still feels like a tremendous phone. And it's hard to see how Samsung goes above this with their next versions of software. Obviously, they're based off Android 11 and Android 12 and so on and so forth, but that's still a tremendous thing that Samsung was able to do and what Google did with the system-wide gestures. That's a really cool thing, and with the Note 9, performance is still great, everything is still great, cameras are amazing and everything, but when you have the S Pen, when you have the gestures, when you have the dark mode, and that great 1440p display, it's really hard to say that this phone is not a good value at $360. I mean, it's a tremendous value for $360, so that one for sure gets my thumbs up. Another phone that also got One UI 2, which is technically one of the older phones supported, is the Samsung Galaxy S9, as well as the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. The S9 first, that one cost $260. Still a tremendous phone for the majority of people out there. It's still got that software update, so it's still kind of getting software updates if you think about it. Both of these phones actually just got One UI 2.1 as well, or whatever that next update was, and I haven't updated mine yet, but I will probably do a video here soon. And even these phones are still very, very good. I mean, the Note 9 might be my main choice for a lot of people, but still, for a cheaper price, I mean, $260 is a tremendous price to pay for a phone like this. The Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus as well. And I've owned all these phones, all the phones that I listed here. I've owned all of them. I tested all of them thoroughly. You can go back on my channel and watch all those videos that I've done on them. The S9 and S9 Plus are ones that I kind of talk about a lot, especially these last couple months. Ever since Samsung pretty much stated that the S8 and S8 Plus are not going to be getting One UI 2, I kind of started shifting my focus to the S9 and S9 Plus, and these phones are tremendous values for the price points. Now, the last three phones are the ones that I would probably recommend the highest for a majority of people out there, and those are the Samsung Galaxy S10 series. These phones, Samsung knocked it out of the park, and I've never seen phones depreciate this much in front of my eyes. Like, I've known the, LG phones from back in the day depreciate a lot, and probably even more than these ones, but these phones, these are the first times that I've actually witnessed it to phones that I personally bought brand new. The S10e, the Samsung Galaxy S10, and the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus are all tremendous phones. Starting with the Galaxy S10e, that phone is a very, very good phone still. It's almost like the perfect sized phone in my hands. The screen is great, the fingerprint sensor is awesome, the dual camera setup is still one of the best cameras out there, and it's an extremely fast phone. Really anything I threw at it, it handled from point A to point B, and that's something that you don't necessarily see in a lot of phones, especially budget phones of that year. So the Galaxy S10e for sure gets my thumbs up. The next one, the Samsung Galaxy S10, and actually the S10e costs $360, so about the same price as the Note 9, and I would kind of recommend the S10e over the Note 9, and if you want to see a comparison in between both these, I'll go ahead and do it probably some point, who knows. But the next phone is the Samsung Galaxy S10, and this phone is a tremendous value still, no matter what anybody says. This phone is a crazy good phone. I've seen a lot of these go for about $410 on Amazon, which is a tremendous value for this device. You're getting so much value inside of a phone like this. You're getting crazy great screen, 1440p, reverse wireless charging, camera quality that's out the roof, triple camera setup, and all those cool little things, the headphone jack still, USB Type-C. You're getting a ton of value in a phone like this, and like I've stated before, whatever Samsung has at that year, at that time, they literally just throw into their phones. They really don't care if a device, too future-proof or too ahead of its time. They just throw it into their phones and go from there. We look at the Galaxy S20s, and those are even, I'll get into those in a second, but the Galaxy S10 is still a tremendous value for $410, and the Galaxy S10 Plus for $470 on Amazon is a tremendous value as well. Like I stated, it's really hard to find these phones that are, really bad values, especially when they're only a year old, as long as they don't have some major defect in them. The Galaxy S10 Plus included that great screen, great battery life. These phones have tremendous battery lives inside of them, and the biggest thing is the software updates. I mean, we're getting another year out of software for these two things, or another full version of software at least, which will be really, really awesome. But you have to also include the performance. The Samsung Galaxy S10 series had great performance within them, and even though right now they're a little bit on the slower end, I'm not really too sure why. I'll investigate it thoroughly, but those phones for sure, in my opinion, have some of the best values for the Samsung Galaxy S10 series for sure, and at least of last year. These phones are some of the most ones that have seen the most amount of depreciation, which is kind of crazy. Now, I want to end off with the Samsung Galaxy S20, and I don't think it's the best brand new value right now, but on Amazon, for some reason, they are selling for $799, which still is pretty expensive, not going to lie, but that's pretty crazy to see that much depreciation already from a phone that was just released a month ago. I mean, the Samsung Galaxy S20 is a tremendous phone. It brought so much to the table: 8K video resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, great build quality, great screen. I mean, it's nothing to hate on it, really. Great performance and everything, and they're selling for $799, which is tremendous. And that just goes to show, I mean, the depreciation of these Samsung phones are crazy, and I wouldn't even be that shocked if next year we saw that the Samsung Galaxy S20 series saw more depreciation than the Samsung Galaxy S10 series, which I find pretty hard to believe. The S10 series had some of the most depreciation that we've seen on many phones, like I've stated, but the Samsung Galaxy S20 series could be up there as well. The S20 Plus, is still very expensive. That one I think is $200 off as well, but those are some crazy values. And even though the S20 is the brand new one, that still doesn't mean it's still the most expensive one. The iPhone 11 Pros in the used market are selling for more than the Samsung Galaxy S20s, and that one just came out like a month ago. So those are some of my favorite, best, cheapest Samsung phones that you can buy in 2020. All these for the most part are used except for the S20 that I stated at the end. Like I stated, if you want to pick up any of these will all be linked down below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button like I stated, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.